Now that I've added a few place marks to my map, I want to look at and show you some of the tools that you can use to make your map even better. And some of those tools are right here underneath the search bar. And the first one by default is this hand, which lets me simply click and drag and move my map around. Or it lets me select items. So if I click on here on Norware, Alaska, it would open that up, and then I would have the option to edit those. The next one lets me add a marker, and if I'm going to do that, if I don't type in the search bar here, I can just add a marker to somewhere. So for example, let's say I want to add a marker and maybe stop in Greenland or go to Greenland. Don't know exactly where, don't have an address or a town in Greenland. I just want to put a mark on that continent. So I'm going to click on Add Marker, and then it gives me this plus sign, and all I have to do is just click, and it adds the marker there somewhere in Greenland. And I could still add a picture. And save that. And I can do all the things with that place marker that I could with the ones that I searched for. So it's just an easy way to drop a place marker. The next button that you have up here is Draw a Line, and that lets you make sort of a route. If you click on this button, you have these options, and I'm going to just add a line or a shape. So let's say I'm going to start here at the Grand Canyon, and then I'm going to travel to Hawaii, and then down here to the Great Barrier Reef, and then I'm going to fly to Alaska. You notice how the lines curve. This would be a great thing to talk to your students about as far as why do these lines curve on this map? Especially look at this one. When they're looking at a flat map and the world is round, it's very hard for people and especially students to understand that. So then I would go to Greenland, then Ireland, and then Germany, and then maybe I want to go back home, and I live here in Iowa. Now, if I don't reconnect this, if I don't connect this back to here or go somewhere else, it looks like this. I have this line just stuck with me. But if I'm done, all I'm going to do is just double click at my last spot, and there's my line. And you notice over here, it now shows up with line 9, and I can change what the style looks like for that. So I can change the color, I can change the line width, I can add a picture, I can edit it, I can trash it. So I will close out of there, use my little hand shape, and I'm going to zoom out, kind of see more what that looks like. Now if you're going to draw a shape, let's say I want to draw a shape around the country of, or the continent of South America. I'll just kind of touch some of the outside points around here just to get it close. And you notice when I come back to my starting point, it automatically makes a polygon. So now I can change the name of that. So you could use this for anything from the area that the Civil War was fought in to anything that you want to make into a shape of some kind. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And the nice thing about this is it tells me, just in a very rough, that the shape that I drew, which happened to be the continent of South America, it tells me how many square miles it is and how far around it is in the shape that I drew around the outside. Again, I can color that, and you'll notice that you can still see through it there. You can change the transparency and the border width. Make it very transparent. So a lot of options that you have there, and then again you can add another image, one from Google Earth. And so now that shape has an image attached to it. The other buttons up here are, here you can add directions. So I'm going to click on this, and then it adds another layer over here to the left for driving directions. So from point A to point B, what would my driving direction be? So this one's going to be a little more difficult, but it's just like when you don't have to use these points here, but I could start at the Grand Canyon and then just type in my home address, or just home. And then it automatically makes those driving directions for me from one to the other. And then the last thing that's on here, let me zoom back out. The last button is a ruler. So what if I wanted to measure, and of course this is going to be as the crow flies, the distance from Alaska to Greenland, this route here. So all it does is again give you the little plus sign. If I click here, I'm going to kind of draw along this line to wherever I stopped in Greenland, and that's 2,142 miles. And if I keep going, the mileage keeps going, or I could just double click. And then it would tell me on that route how far those miles are. So that's what the ruler is for, and that's for distance. Again, you could zoom in a lot more. And so if I wanted to find the distance from home to the Grand Canyon, I could click on point B and just do as the crow flies here to make it fast, and an estimated be about 979 miles. So that's the buttons.